Do you rely on a CPAP machine and think multi-day hiking is off limits for you? With planning and the right gear, you can sleep safely and soundly on the trail. I don't have sleep apnea, but my good friend Mike does. He's had it for decades, and he helped me understand what it really takes to manage a CPAP machine while hiking. Using a CPAP machine in order to get a good night's sleep out there comes with cost. But these costs are nothing compared to the cost of not using a CPAP when you need it. Mike's doctors were divided on his hiking. His PCP told him, "You'll have a stroke and die if you go hiking at all." His sleep specialist told him, "Well, you won't sleep well without your CPAP." Mike confirmed the second opinion is correct when he tried going a few days without it. He told me, "I'm addicted to it now." He sleeps much better than ever before, but when he tried going without it, he didn't die, but he couldn't sleep either. I don't know if his condition is typical. He was experiencing 62 breathing stops per hour. Now with his CPAP running at 4 centimeters of water pressure, that's CMHTO, this has reduced to about 2 per hour. Then the CPAP ramps up pressure to clear those remaining events. This gives you an idea of how his power usage might compare to yours. He uses about 55 watt hours per night. This is very effective and efficient given his starting point. It's even improved my sleep. It no longer sounds like a grizzly bear is camping with me when we hike together. On one trip when we got rooms in a town for a night, I could hear him snoring through the paper-thin motel walls. Those days are gone now, but sleep apnea isn't just about snoring, however. There can be long-term negative cardiovascular impacts also. We need to consider the portable CPAP machine, the battery power needed to run it in watt hours per night, recharge time, recharging adapters and cables, and the cost, weight, and volume of each. Finally, there's the whole issue of cleaning the CPAP on the trail. I won't be getting into cleaning today. It deserves a whole video of its own. Mike uses a ResMed Air Mini, weighing about a pound. I found it online for about $900 US. For that price, check with your health insurance to see if they'll cover it. He has 2 batteries. One provides 95 watt hours, weighs about 1.3 pounds. The other provides 276 watt hours and weighs 3.5 pounds. Now, battery prices are coming way down. I've seen them for around $160 for the larger one. But please carefully research any you're considering purchasing and buy only reputable brands from reputable sources. Now, you notice that I don't mention milliamp hours. Watch my video on power banks, it's linked somewhere here, to understand why these numbers are meaningless. In that video, I talk about power banks for recharging smaller items such as phones and trackers, but the concepts are the same. Milliamp hours are typically based on battery output of around 3.7 volts, while the CPAP will run at 12 or 24 volts. So instead of milliamp hours, look at the watt hours. I know it's geeky, but it's best to understand what these numbers mean, at least at a high level. Now, unlike phone and tracker power banks, which provide about 100 watt hours per pound, CPAP batteries get about 75 watt hours per pound. There's a lot of conversions that are going on in there. A quick rule of thumb, if a battery claims much over 80 watt hours per pound, be skeptical. That's beyond typical for CPAP batteries. Always use the recharging adapters and the cables that come with it because they can have a huge impact on recharge time. Now, Mike's 55 watt hour per night experience is very efficient actually. Many users will see 80 to 120 watt hours per night, far more if they use a heated humidifier. And that's a key point. Know before you go should be your mantra. So let's keep these points in mind. You have to carry everything with you. That means considering weight and volume. Mike's CPAP and all the extras are about the size of a sleeping bag. When we talked about bear canisters, we discussed the idea that as he used up his food, he could regain some pack space by storing the CPAP equipment in the canister during the day. We soon realized that his equipment could pick up food smells, and this might result in a bear ripping into his tent and eating his face at night. Now, that would technically solve the sleep apnea problem, but we don't recommend it. It needs to be dependable and last consistently, and that means testing. Before going on a multi-day trip, use it at home, running on battery just as you would on the trail. Find out how many nights it lasts. Give yourself a 20% margin to allow for lower outdoor temperatures, mask leaks, and variations in your sleep patterns on the trail compared to your bed at home. For example, 5 days at home, maybe 4 days on the trail. Find out how long the battery takes to recharge with the adapters and cables you have. When you're planning the hike, schedule stops at hostels or motels frequently enough to get your battery charged for the whole trip. Use a rebreather rather than a humidifier to cut weight and power consumption if you can. And be aware of the limits when traveling by air. Carry-on batteries are restricted to 100 watt-hours, though you can bring up to two 160 watt-hour power banks with prior arrangements with the airline. Mike's 95 watt-hours can fly. His 276 watt-hours needs to travel by land. And batteries with exaggerated 150 watt-hour labels, they're common among third-party knockoffs, could get denied boarding. To recap, use lightweight, travel-ready CPAP equipment, test it at home, use watt-hours and not milliamp hours to judge potential battery purchases, and plan your stops at hotels or motels accordingly. With good planning, your CPAP use doesn't have to keep you from the backcountry. I hope you found this information useful. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment on this or other topics you'd like me to cover. And if you haven't seen this video, I recommend you take a look at it now. Thanks for listening.